Welcome to another video brought to you by St. Robert's Retro Rams, Team 4001. In this video, we'll be programming the motor we created using a joystick, so that when we press one button, the motor goes up, and when we push another button, it goes down. We'll be using an array. So now, open main, open teleop, Control E to open the block diagram, or Command E. Now, the first thing we need to do is open a joystick. So highlight it, the one above, Control C, and Control V. Now, this X means the wire is broken, so we get rid of it by Control B or Command B. Now rename your joystick so that it matches the one you created, like that. Now, joystick get has 3 ports. Select buttons, right-click, clusters, class and variance palette, unbundle by name, and place it. Now wire buttons to input cluster. Now click on button 1 and select button 2 and then drag it 1 down. Now right-click, array, build array, and place it. Drag it 1 down so that you have 2 elements. Wire each button to an element. Now, when we press a button, it returns a value of true. So we want to indicate this by converting it into a number, so that when it's not pressed, it returns a value of 0, and when it's pressed, it returns a value of 1. To do this, we right-click, Boolean array to number, we drag it down, and we wire it. Now we wire the other end, number, to an index array. An array, index array, like that. Now, for our second port, array, we right-click, create, constant. Now we click on the inside, delete, we right-click, numeric, enum constant, and we place it in. Feel free to space out your program as such. Now right click on the enum constant you dragged in, properties, edit items, and insert. You need to insert default up and down. And I spelled default wrong. Yep, I believe that we are correct. Yes. So now, what we want to do is we want to move this up. You'll see why in a second. And you want to drag 4 squares down, because there are 4 different possibilities. 1, none of the buttons are pressed. 2, 1 button is pressed. 3, the other button is pressed, and 4, both buttons are pressed. If we want no buttons to be pressed, we choose default by clicking on it and selecting default. If we want the first button pressed, we want it to go up, and if we want the second button pressed, we want it to go down. But however, if we want both buttons pressed, we don't want it to do anything, so we put it back to default. Feel free to drag these spaces out so that you can see the entire word. Now, how does the computer select which case is true? To do this, we need a case structure. Now, go to the right of your index array, right-click, structures, and case structure. Drag a case and wire element to the green check mark. Now you will see 3 cases: up, default, and down. But as you can see, there are only 2 cases. To solve this problem, right-click on the arrow and add case after up. Now you will have 3 cases: up, down, and default. So for down, you want to set motor output to 0.5. And to do that, we right click, WPI Robotics Library, Robot Drive, Advanced, Motor Control, and Set Output. Now we go to Output Port, we right click, Create Constant, and 0.5. Now one more thing, we need to get the registry. So to do that, we right click outside the case, WPI Robotics Library, Robot Drive, Advanced, Motor Control, and WPI Motor Control Ref Num Registry Get. We drag it out, we give it a ref num, which in this case is my first motor, and we wire it to motor control dev rev inside the case structure, like this. However, I did it in the default case, which should be 0, so I'm going to change it to 0. Now, copy the code inside your case by highlighting it and pressing Ctrl or Command C and pasting it into other cases, such as up. Now, break the broken wires with Ctrl or Command B and change the output of up to -0.5. How we got these values was by testing it on a robot, which you will shortly see in our next video. Now, connect control motor dev rev to the purple or pink square on the case. Now, next we go to down and we paste it again, Control V or Command V, and then Control B or Command B to break it, and we changed it down to 0.5. Now we wire motor control dev rev to the purple or pink square. Once you're done, you have created a button which allows the user to press button 2 or 3 on the joystick and make the robot's motor act accordingly. I hope you enjoyed this video brought to you by St. Robert's Retro Rams Team 4001. In our next video, you will see what this code does. Enjoy.